can feel it in the air. You can smell it. You can borderline taste it. Fall camp is rolling across the country. It's definitely rolling in Athens, Georgia. And Kirby Smart took the podium, talked a little ball before fall camp got officially rolling, before they hit the field for their first practice. And if you've watched this show, you know we've done this a couple of times. But for fall camp, we're breaking out the coach translator, all right, back by sort of popular demand. What did Kirby Smart have to say during fall camp opening press conference? What was he really saying? What are we actually taking away from what he said during that press conference? We'll break it down right now. If you're a Georgia Bulldog fan, though, and you want more content around your dogs, let us know. Go ahead and subscribe. Appreciate y'all being dialed in. But without further ado, the first question he got at the podium came from our guy, Brooks Austin, friend of the program. And the question was essentially, hey, how do you keep your message fresh? You've been at this for a long time. How do you keep on revamping your message and keeping it where it resonates? Thought his message and what he said to that question was really insightful. Take a listen.
Well, the message is fresh because it's a new team. And, when you have a new team, you have new ears and you got new guys. I mean, we talked about it before. I think we've got 40 or 50 guys around maybe just completely new, first or second year. So I don't think you have to worry about your message staying fresh when you have the turnover you have, but you got to keep your message fresh based on what's changing in college football and offensively and defensively, schemes, things people are doing outside of it, and just the demands you have. So our coaches do a great job of changing things up, and I'll do the same with our guys.
I don't have to tell them we're going to go 7-5. I don't have to tell them we're not going to be any good. I don't have to try to convince them that the world's against them and they're not going to be anything. I can just be straight with these dudes because they haven't done anything here yet. They're not sitting up here in these locker rooms with a bunch of national title rings on their fingers. Yeah, last year's group won the SEC and made the college football playoff, but this group, with all the turnover we've had in college football, I don't have to manufacture motivation. And that's a big reason why I really like Georgia this year, contrary to the new quarterback and contrary to the way that last year finished and the times where Georgia just looked un-Georgia-esque. This year's Georgia team does not have to have any manufactured motivation from Kirby Smart. This, I think, is a hungry group. This is a young group, and a hungry Georgia paired with a Kirby Smart who doesn't have to prompt them and tell them they're going to be so average and they need to find a way to just come up against all those naysayers. I think that's dangerous for the rest of college football. So Kirby Smart is saying, I don't have to change my message because the message is new to this group. So I thought that was really insightful. And again, I think that's somewhat concerning for the rest of college football. Another question he got asked was around the line of scrimmage and what it looked like last year, both offensively and defensively. Because if you watched Georgia last year, any given week, they were still really good up front. They just weren't good up front compared to their standards, both offensively and defensively. Now, some of that is the injury bug. I understand that. But when Georgia's really humming and reeling off national titles, they are a force up front. Was asked about that, was asked about getting back to that on both the offensive and defensive side. Go ahead and take a listen to what he had to say.
Yeah, I want to see improvement. I want to see experience. I want to see depth building. We talk about it a lot. We've talked about it a lot in our messaging about what the standard is at Georgia in terms of it's not the number of runs as much as it is the efficiency of the runs. It's not the yardage given up rushing as much as it is the yards per carry. We want to be very productive in those two areas. Our best team since we've been here, they've been able to run the ball when they have to run it, and they've been able to stop the run when they have to stop it. And that looks different in every game. So what do I want to see out of those guys? I want to see improvement. I want to see buy-in. It's a culture thing. It's like you get what you demand, and we're going to demand that we stop it and that we're able to do it and run it.
Translation, Lord have mercy on the rest of college football. We are going to run the ball and stop the run if it's the last thing we do. Because last year, that wasn't it. And if it comes down to culture, according to Kirby Smart, it comes down to culture, it comes down to coaching, it comes down to internal intensity and what you prioritize. We are going to make sure we do both those things at the highest level. Okay? And I think it's important to note here, it's a culture thing for Georgia. It's not a culture thing everywhere else across college football. Like, it's not a culture thing for any given FCS or lower group G5 school to stop the run because you might not have the players. You might not have the players to stop the run and run the football. Georgia has the players. We'll talk more about that here in a second. But with him saying, no, we're going to make sure it's a thing we demand from this football team, I think Kirby Smart, if he's demanding something, and he's talking about that during the first fall practice, feels pretty safe to assume from where I'm sitting that they will make it an emphasis and accomplishment for both those sides of the football to stop the run and run the ball. Also want to make sure we say this. Kirby Smart said this, but I want to just reiterate what he had to say about it. The best Georgia teams ran the ball at a high level, stopped the run at a high level. College football, there's a lot with talent acquisition, and there's a lot with culture, which is extremely important, but at the end of the day, physics isn't changing. The laws of nature aren't changing. Big people will move small people. Big, strong people move small people. Georgia's got a lot of big, strong people. So I thought that was insightful, and I think that was actually what he was trying to say is, no, we're gonna make sure we major in that, and we're gonna do that because we care about it. It's a culture thing, and we're gonna make sure we turn that all the way back up to where it's supposed to be. In that same vein, Georgia's got a bunch of new pieces on the offensive line. Only one returning starter of last year's 5 from up front on the offensive side, and was asked about how he expects that group to progress and just overall what he is expecting from that group when it comes to the 2025 campaign. We'll translate what he had to say after this.
I think them play with a chip on their shoulder. We talk about playing with an edge, passion, fire, energy, right? PFE is one of the things we're looking for. No greater position that you possess passion, fire, and energy than O-line. There is something about breaking someone's will or saying I have to move you from point A to point B, and movement is exactly that. Movement is what creates run game.
I cannot wait for someone to take that soundbite and put it in a hype video. It's the first freaking fall camp press conference. We already got a mention of breaking someone's will from Kirby Smart. He's in mid-season form. But notice what he said. I expect them to gel. I expect passion, fire, energy, all those things. Wasn't talking about, I'm not 110% sure who's going to step up. I'm not sure if we have the right guys. He's talking about things that have nothing to do with talent. He's talking about getting on the same page. He's talking about what he said in the previous quote, having the right cultural demand from his football team, playing with an edge. The translation for me is we got our guys up front. Like don't you worry about us over here at Georgia. Don't you pocket watch our roster. We have what we need here. It's about putting it all together. That's 110% the case. It's a big part about what our football team is going to be is can we stay healthy? But don't you worry about our Jimmys and Joes. Gel, play with passion, have some movement, all those things. But we got our guys. We're going to make sure we break your will. There's something to that, and we feel like we got the guys to make that happen. So the last thing he said I thought was really insightful to kind of wrap up this segment was asked about all the turnover that this roster has had. That's kind of been a theme for Georgia. Kirby Smart made sure he made it clear, though, it's not just a thing for Georgia. It's kind of a thing across college football that everyone's having to adapt to. We'll translate what he had to say on the other side of this.
Well, I think the way it is 54%, and it's a lot, and it worries me as a coach, but it's not any different probably anywhere else. It's not like anybody's sitting back saying, oh, well, we got 80% guys that have been here and 20% new guys. We have all, as coaches, evolved, and we have more kids coming in the spring. So we've done more with these kids than we've ever done before. I'm talking about spring, walkthrough. Post-spring this year, we even took it and said, you know what, we're going to do 30 minutes a day of football school. We're going to dedicate our time to like football school 101. So the onboarding and the process you go through, the summer plan, every minute we have by NCAA allowed, we use. And we have done more to this point with kids than we've ever done before. So,
translation, this is the new college football. This is the next adaptation. There's other things, too, every single year it feels like with different schemes that are in vogue, different trends when it comes to where personnel is playing. There was a point a couple of years ago where a lot more rangy DBs were out there, and you had more quick defensive linemen, and the edge position became in vogue. To me, this is Kirby Smart saying this is where college football is headed. If you want to be successful year in and year out, you're going to have to find a way to onboard new players. That 54% number he spoke to at the top of that quote, 54%, I believe, of Georgia's roster will be either first or second-year players. Look at that receiver room alone, dude. There's going to be 7 new wide receivers in there from the high school level plus the transfer portal guys they took. You got to find a way to get these guys on the same page. And so the next adaptation in college football that Kirby Smart is speaking to, sure, there's going to be stuff on the field that happens that's different and evolves, but a big part of what's going to make teams successful is how do you take those new pieces into your roster and help them before you even touch the grass to get up to speed with what you want to do offensively, defensively, culturally, all those things. Getting those guys on board, getting those guys onboarded, quite frankly, is the best way to say it, is how you're going to win at the highest level. And Kirby Smart is making sure it's very, very clear we are attacking that part of this. If we want to win, and Georgia, I mean, there's a certain expectation now that comes with that G. That's been there, but it's been achieved now. I mean, 2 of the last 4 years. We need to make sure that we are doing every single thing in our power, maximizing every minute. I mean, majoring in the football school side of things during the offseason to get those guys up to speed so we can play fast on Saturdays. And when Georgia's playing fast, I don't know, there's a whole lot of other teams that want to see them on the grass. So with that being said, man, this is the Coach Translator for A1 Kirby Smart. First fall camp press conference. It just feels so good to have fall camp out there, man. We'll have camp intel for you headed your way. We'll have fall camp propaganda for those of y'all that are familiar with the show, kind of breaking down some of the fall camp clips and highlights we get over the social media way of things. But we're glad to have y'all, man. College football, it's back. We appreciate y'all being locked in. Again, if you're a college football sicko or you're a Georgia fan or you want to break someone's will, make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. For Cato on the ones and twos, myself, Judy PicKell, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We will keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.